military station in all bar. No, because at that point, check this out. You're giving me my argument. At that point, local counties are already enforcing that law. Am I correct? Am I correct? Local counties are already enforcing that law. Is that correct? Let me know. This is good. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just waiting for your response.
Fiery but mostly peaceful.
Literally,
I think it's
Yes, yeah, just like they are with everything else. I don't know where you get that law enforcement will just not do their job. No. Listen, if there's a law, so listen to this. If a lot of these people in those areas, the police, are not enforcing law because let's say the mayor said do not. Yeah, no problem. I love it, because it just it's gonna sharp our brain. My point is that even because what happened is the police follow the command of the mayor, right? In that case, right? Let's say Portland. Now, even though they're following the orders of the mayor, that is a big accusation of a lot of people. What do you mean? I was going to finish my point. Even though they are following the orders of the mayor, by law, they have a duty to follow the law already established by the state legislature. If they're not doing it, they decide to just follow law, not follow laws, follow the mayor or the governor. Does that mean that a lot of these laws are not being applied currently in Portland or Seattle? At what point you can just keep allowing these people to just take control of a lot of these cities and not putting enforcement of those for those laws that are already in the book? Thousands and thousands of professional law enforcement. No, I'm talking only about Portland and Seattle, where a lot of these areas are kind of almost anarchy territory. That's what I'm talking about. See, I'm sorry, I just haven't seen that. Oh, just watch a video of Portland and Seattle. Yeah, there are thousands there. Yeah, they're not. I'm sorry. No way you can go to Portland and say, man, yes, police is enforcing the law here. No, they're not doing it. Yeah, there's a state account. If you go to Portland and you see a lot of homeless people, and you do a lot of crime, a lot of people stealing, a lot of people just committing crime, and there's nothing done. I haven't seen a lot of cities personally. Have you seen Baltimore? Yeah, that's disgusting. I don't even go there. I used to live in New York City. Let me tell you where I used to live. I used to live right in the border of the east side of New York City. Like literally, where people will commit crime and never will be resolved. I used to live in Milwaukee. My car got stolen, got burned. The police will never enforce the law.
No violence.
I think it's really telling.
But, yeah,
I think it's really telling that the majority.
Now, sometimes, sure. No. Most of the time, they're not going to enforce the law. They don't have the resources, and already the mayor gave them the order not to do so. Which is, by the way, it's a constitutional. It's a constitutional, because that means you're not following the laws that are already started by the book from the county constitution. It's a constitutional. Let me just give you an example. I don't know if you're American, but for example, California, Los Angeles, already is violating the 4th Amendment, which is protection of the private property, by allowing people to steal any value items less than $1,000. That's already a violation of the Constitution. It'll be, yeah. That's why I don't know how you think they could do that. It's just, I don't know. It's just I don't know, man. It's where we are right now.
Of this organization was mostly peaceful. When you have such large scale violence and destruction, $2+ billion of damages.
Here, I'll build a
Dozens
bridge to you,
killed.
John. I think the MAGA movement is mostly peaceful.
Yeah, Texas cops are strict as fuck, like it should. Like, sure, that's very good.
As well, despite January 6th and any violence committed by MAGA.
Right, okay, so I think there's something really crucial about the framework of this debate here, is that we're trying to analyze which party is more responsible. So when you say that, like, you know, like Donald Trump pardoning people 4 years after the violence was committed.
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of these Republicans don't have representation in those areas. The body of the Portland legislative body is just completely lefty lunatic Democrats. What voice does the Republican have there? Nothing. It will be in their interest to challenge it, not necessarily. Not necessarily. If the people don't have the knowledge to how these things go, they're not gonna challenge it. Not only that, you need resources for that. Sorry, man, that just doesn't explain it. It does. If you listen, the government currently has the duty of protect your private property. That's why we have the Fourth Amendment, right? They have that duty. Look what happened in LA with ICE. They're tripping out. Meaning what?
Then you're not really showing any culpability for Donald Trump. He didn't do anything to cause the violence, for instance.
Well, you can get to the January 6th causes, but I'm specifically saying that he is showing that there's no consequences to committing political violence on his behalf. The reason I'm bringing up the BLM,
they were in jail for years. What are you talking about, dude?
He wasn't president when he wanted to pardon them.
I know.
I was just saying.
Wait. Donald Trump could have pardoned all of those people on his way out of office. What are you talking about?
No, I don't think he could have done that.
I think he could have. Yes, he could have.
Within his power, but I don't think it was in the political set to do it at the exact moment.
Oh, so he could have. So he could have then, is what you're saying? He could have.
I don't know if he could have mass pardoned them in.
Why not?
Before any of their sentences were finished.
Yes, he could have. You can pardon somebody before they ever even have to face a federal trial. You pre-pardon them.
I don't know if that was within his purview at the time, but maybe I'm wrong. The point is,
you're definitely wrong.
Okay, sure. The point is that we're talking about the downstream effects of the rhetoric of these politicians and how maybe a BLM riot might be like an execution of said rhetoric. So when you're looking and trying to classify BLM as political violence, you'd have to show that this violence is being perpetrated as like an extension of what these people are saying. Like, hey, I'm telling you need to go cause harm in this, or you need to go like extend and perpetuate my message, and they're doing the violence to do that. When an overwhelming majority of these riots were just people fucking rioting and looting for no reason, no political ideology, just taking advantage.
Yeah, they're not. No, they're not. Everyone is used to law enforcement. Come on, man. I don't know. You have to explain yourself. I don't know what you mean by that.
Advantage of chaos.
You know, that's a very useful kind of red herring or something like this, but. You know, it's not actually demonstrated to me that these people weren't there on the ground with Antifa terrorists, for instance, domestic terrorists, by the way, who were, and we have video after video after video of them often leading these mobs and inciting them towards violence. So the thing that's really funny.
Be more explicit there. What do you mean?
Yeah, guys dressed all in black show up. They start breaking windows, setting fires. Suddenly there's mobs all over the place. I know, not a good enough evidence for you, but for most people who are watching the videos, they tend to think, that looks very much like organized terrorist activity. Just saying.
Okay,
like,
so to be clear, you don't like our studies that have comprehensive, analysis and methodology, because you might disagree with the methodology, and that's fine. But your evidence that you're going to present to me that BLM is politically motivated in a majority is that I saw some videos and they had masks on.
Well, wait a second. Hang on. First of all, you're making a conflationary argument. I didn't make the conflation that, BLM is left-wing versus your studies of the right wing. I have a much more comprehensive argument. My argument would be that the left is full of many, many more mentally ill people than the right, and I can give you studies which you would agree show this. They suffer from greater rates of depression, greater rates of overall feelings of unwellness and unhappiness. And when left-wing political primary people, this would be congressmen, senators, people in political leadership, tell these mentally ill individuals in their base that they're dealing with fascists and Nazis who are trying to take away their rights, that actually creates much more of a motivation for that mentally ill base than anything on the right, who seems to be able to discern between funny rhetoric and panic mode like you guys do anytime Trump sneezes.
Would you say that you inflict and ask violence on you and your family by naming yourself Big Papa Fascist?
You mean a debate handle?
Yeah.
A satirical debate handle?
Oh, it's a joke. Okay.
Yeah,
But these people are mentally ill. They can't
yeah,
tell the difference.
you couldn't. Hang on. You didn't think that the debate handle Big Papa Fascist was satire? Are you fucking serious? You thought? Did you think I really thought I was the biggest papaist of all the fascists? Like,
No,
what the fuck are you
really
talking?
think you embrace fascism in a lot of ways. You want a Christian nationalist
What?
nation.
That's
It
not
seems like
fascism.
it doesn't
You don't know
really
what
matter
fascism even
ultimately.
is,
It
dude.
doesn't
Give me a
ultimately
break.
matter, Andrew, because like you said, you're talking to a bunch of mentally ill left-wing people. Maybe they're not able to discern whether or not it's a joke. They're not so good at humor, and maybe you're inviting violence on you. And
So right-wingers can't do satire because if they do, left-wingers may be provoked to violence. Great argument, Soypill.
No, I'm saying that if you're
Great
accusing people of
argument.
accurately describing right-wingers as fascists when they do fascist things, then that is invoking
What
violence.
fascist
But I would
things?
say calling yourself a fascist is probably also doing that, and I would probably try to distance myself from any and all past names that I had that might invoke violence on me.
I got it. So when the left is calling right-wingers fascists for things like wanting to close off the border and having pro-life positions, that's fascism. You think that
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay, got it. So then that would not be justified use of calling them fascists and Nazis because they have pro-life positions? Would you like example after example after example of various left-wing politicians calling right-wingers fascists, authoritarians, and other
No, I don't need
because they have pro-life
You
positions?
don't even need to use the politicians. I mean, we're talking about the politicians, but ultimately, I probably agree with those statements. Go ahead, Vince.
I'm curious here. So, Andrew, was your argument earlier then that because the left has predominantly more mentally ill people on their side, that using inflaming rhetoric such as fascists or things of that
Correct. Yeah,
may
Andrew, it's
invoke
definitely
some of those people to act upon those impulses because of the fact that they are more mentally ill?
Worse. My argument actually is that the rhetoric specifically is targeted towards that mentally ill base in order to move them towards political action.
Okay.
Not caring
Great.
about violence at all.
Gotcha. So would you agree, though, because it seems like when you say there's more mentally ill, it does not negate the fact that there is still mentally ill people on the right, correct?
I don't disagree with that. Of course not.
Okay. So then if you have certain
But I would say on the right,
would it not?
Yeah.
Oh.
I would say on the right, well, there's distinctions in the types of mental illness that you're dealing with. On the right, the types of mental illness you're usually dealing with are things like PTSD. We've seen a lot of this. Not necessarily politically oriented. A lot of times that mental illness isn't triggered by politics or political rhetoric. It's triggered by various other things because PTSD, it can affect people in bizarre ways. Left-wing mental illness is generally feelings of depression, feelings of unwellness, feelings of dissatisfaction.
Here's the problem with this, Crimson King. I don't think people understand what fascism really means. I don't think people understand this. Like, literally, you were living in fascism. We will not even do this. Even because a lot of these lefty lunatics would not even just have their voice just being heard during a fascist government. I don't think so. Like, when you don't understand fascism, it's a way you have no control of your thoughts. Absolutism,
satisfaction, things like this, and a lot of those are actually associated with the political system as being things that make them feel like
what do you mean, like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert? Or what do you mean? Like, because they got canceled? Listen, freedom of speech, here's the thing. Those are just private companies just doing their own thing. Freedom of speech only protects you from the government putting you behind bars because of speech. All or nothing, right? Silenced by government? Nope. No, they're not. Meaning what?
they have anxiety, make them feel like they're existing in a depressed mode. So I think that these politicians definitely target these people.
Well, that was what happened with even when Elon Musk bought Twitter, right? A lot of people, a lot of government officials were just influencing secretly influencing by canceling individuals, right? And this side, in this side of the aisle, I don't like to cancel. And Twitter, I don't like, because there's a public Discord, right? You can go back and forward. But what ABC, NBC, a lot of these companies do with their workers, I don't care.
people because they're very useful, jobless retards who show up to these protests in Portland and are clearly mentally ill. They're swinging their boobs around. You know, they all have blue hair. They have nose rings all over. Obviously, there's something wrong here with these people. Come on.
Can you give like an example, Andrew? Like, I don't know, like Chuck Schumer, I guess is probably called him a fascist, and like how you can demonstrate like this Chuck Schumer, the guy who the left, especially the radical leftists, probably more of the mentally ill ones, will agree on that, to see as a feckless, detriment to their left-wing movement, who they want to overthrow and install some communists to replace him. This is the guy who is radicalizing people to hurt right-wingers. Like, could you show me like a quote?
Who? Which guy are you talking
Chuck
about
Schumer,
specifically?
Or like Hakeem Jeffries, or like any like political Democrat leader who like you.
Oh yeah, well, what they do,
radicalizing like these far left.
They don't just utilize all political pundits. Oh, in fact, when I was going through to get a comprehensive list of
what they did to Charlie, that making fun of Charlie like that, man, man. That's basically, you know what's crazy? That's basically the free market doing his stuff. The free market shame this guy was Jimmy Kimmel, and the free market took care of it.
Pundits who have called right-wing politicians fascist and Nazis. I almost couldn't find one.
He sort of like doubled down afterward.
That didn't.
When he got reinstated.
It was like finding the exception. It was actually even the. You know what's really funny is like even the Economist do it. Even the left-wing economists are like, Trump's a fascist. It's crazy.
When he does fascist shit, and
I mean, come on, man. Like, he's not a fascist. Bill Clinton. We were just watching a speech the other night, right? He came out with a much more brutal immigration policy than Trump ever had. He sounded like one of these modern right-wing authoritarian fascists.
And called for mass deportations.
He did.
So do you think?
To lock down the entire, he called to lock down the entire southern border, and he wanted more isolationism with NAFTA, actually, rather than global trade, which was interesting.
Well, still,
Andrew,
before you ask, I still wanted to answer my question.
Go ahead.
What politician that's like calling Trump a fascist is inciting these far left people, or far left people are seeing.
Well, it's not just them. So how this works is.
But we're talking about the politicians.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that.
Well, actually, okay. Well, sure.
Like,
in fact, I'll tell you what. Just name a Democrat. Let's play a game. Name the Democrat. I'll find the quote. Okay, Chuck Schumer calling Trump or right wingers fascist, right?
Mm-hmm. Andrew, do you think calling somebody a fascist is a call to violence, or do you think it is inflammatory rhetoric that should be condemned?
I think it depends on the context in which it's used.
Do you think it's good to kill Hitler?
But hang on.
I don't know. Hitler did it, so would you say that Hitler's good?
That's
He's trying to hear John.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. I mean, on a very.
I'm leaving it open.
I think there's certainly a lot of people who think that is very good to kill Hitler. If Hitler was still around and committing genocide, then that would be a good action to take in order to ensure the safety of the world.
Okay,
right?
so
when you have mainstream media,
hang on, I just want to answer, and because you Soypill's being good faith, I'll be good faith back. You are actually correct in one sense that Schumer hasn't directly used the word fascist. He says instead that he's an authoritarian here to take all your rights. It's like,
no, to be
okay.
Clear, I wasn't saying
it's like,
that
okay.
Said it. I assumed that he had called him a fascist, if anything. I'm asking you, can you demonstrate how Chuck Schumer calling him a fascist is the inspiration for these far left people who hate
Chuck
Schumer,
if it was just Chuck Schumer rather than the political party itself saying things like, let me give you an example, the unison of Trump is a danger to our democracy, calling for his impeachment consistently and constantly. Why is he a threat to democracy?
Yeah, we can define fascism. I would say fascism is basically just the complete control, based on national authority of the entire government, with no freedom. That's what fascism. I mean, fascism. That's out of my how I'm defining it here right now. But here he said fascism is a far-right authoritarian, ultranational political ideology that suppresses opposition, promotes dictatorial leaders,